Yeah, we in the building. Yes. Welcome to another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast. I'm your brother, old guy from Hip Hop News Uncensored, and sitting across from me is my co-host.
What it do? What's good? It's your brother Sam, man. Viral Hip Hop News. Another episode of the Uncensored Truth Podcast live on this Friday evening.
Yeah.
Oh God, my brother, what's good with you, man?
Chilling, man, in the building. Happy definitely to be in here tonight. As you know, live on Friday, we're doing a pre-show right now in front of everybody. So that's real dope, man. We're gonna get to the news momentarily, but we have a few announcements before we get into this. We're gonna announce October 26th and 27th. We will be live. The Uncensored Truth Podcast will be live at Caroline's in Brooklyn for our big bro TK Kirkland's album release party. Gangsta Conversation is going all the way down. You want to go to carolines.com for more information and tickets to be at that event. We will be there with other podcasts. I think Aisha Diaz, Labella from Tidal, and brother Doggy Diamond. So that's gonna be real dope. We're gonna be in there. So yeah, man. What's up with you, Sam, man?
Oh God, what's good, man? It feels good to be here on this Friday evening. We're definitely looking forward to getting here and having an electric show for you.
Yeah,
had a lot going on in the world of hip hop and news, just the world and the culture this week. Wanted to get into that, man, but then we had this unfortunate news dropping on us a couple hours ago.
Yeah,
gonna get into that, man. Definitely get into that. Rest in peace, Mac Miller. Let me start by saying that. We'll definitely talk about that story. But yeah, we talked about it. Caroline's on Broadway, October 26th, October 27th. I'm in TK Kirkland. We're gonna kill it, man. It's in the building. Gangsta Conversation, the album released by TK Kirkland.
Yeah,
we already know it's going to be a dope event. Breakfast Club presents Charlamagne the God, Angela Yee. You named a number of other dope podcasts that will be in the building, as well as your boys, the Uncensored Truth Podcast.
Yeah.
It should be real dope. We got a mentorship program we got going on. It's going to be a real serious thing. It's an event. It's something. If you really want to make some money, get into the 7-8 figures. Let's get it busy, man. Let's get it started. Let's have some fun. But we'll get into all that. Let's get into the news. We know we got people going in. Make sure you hit that like button as you pour in. And man, let's talk about it, brother. Let's get into it.
Yes, sir. Bit. Yes, sir. Sam, man, let them know what happened earlier. Your boy Mac Miller from Pittsburgh, dies. Drug overdose.
Yeah, well, it came through on the ticker probably about, I want to say 4:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Right.
Via TMZ, that Mac Miller, as I pull it up right now, but I can give y'all the backstory. Mac Miller at 26 died from an apparent overdose in his home in San Leandro, California. Real unfortunate events. We had people, I went live and had so many people on my San Fernando Valley, but we had so many people on the live podcast that were just outpouring of just so sad and saying rest in peace and just really giving their outcry to Mac Miller. And I was talking briefly on there saying, just waiting to get here. So we can get more in depth with it. But just to hear just the outcry for him, and just he had love throughout the hip hop community, throughout the world. You know what I mean? He was definitely respected in the hip hop game. It's real sad. He really never had any beef, like we were talking about in the pre-production meeting. He was well liked, but we all know that he went through his public. He went through his public. Damn, he went through his. What did he go through? His public.
You mean like
his breakup? His public breakup.
Right, with Ariana Grande.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
My fault. His public breakup with Ariana Grande, and then she goes and gets married or gets engaged with somebody else. It really got the best of him. We already know that he was suffering from substance abuse. She came out publicly and dropped on her Twitter that was maybe one of the reasons why she's getting a lot of slack right now because of that. But it was real unfortunate, man. It seemed as though he was really suffering from the breakup, from things outside of the music. He was very hyped and prompt to get on this tour that he was dropping. He dropped on his Twitter that he was getting on the tour October 27th, I believe he dropped. That was his last Twitter last night. It's just real sad, man.
Yeah, man. And then, it brings up the problem, of promotion of substance abuse and, substance abuse. We had a brother, Trev, here the other day from Plug the Plug. He was kind of talking about, how now, drug use is kind of glorified and embraced like the 70s.
Yeah, man.
We got people coming out, and they're saying like, yo, I'm on this and I'm on that. And, we see that it leads to, tragedy and death. This is we even rest in peace to Fredro Santana. He also succumbed. One of the causes was he kept drinking too much of this stuff, and it's like it's one of those things. It's an epidemic in America though, because this will fall under the class of the opiate. You know what I mean? No different than the pills and everything like that. this is something that promethazine, Mac Miller has talked about in the past, that he's struggled with this, drinking lean, you know what I mean? So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate to, but it's really just a small, it's happening every day. New Jersey, everywhere over the country.
Yeah. I mean, it's 2018, and how many people have we lost in the entertainment game, the hip hop game, from substance abuse and violence? I was saying that earlier on the podcast. Anthony Bourdain from the cooking show, he died from a suicide. We had, like you said, Fredro Santana died in Chicago from an overdose. We had a number of murders. Triple X, obviously, we all know. Jimmy Wapo out in Pittsburgh. We lost 2 Pittsburgh rappers this year due to gun violence. It's just, I think G Money, if I'm not mistaken, out in Louisiana earlier in the year. It's just been maybe he died last year, but there's just been so much recently of young rappers just dying and succumbing to drug and gun violence. It's really a shame that what we see and what's going on right now. Definitely John Hamilton, prayer for the family.
Right now, you brought up something earlier. I don't know if you want to talk about that in the air right now, if you want, or we could, you could save that part about potentially, did he, give him an overdose on purpose? Because that has to be, accounted for.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it in depth live.
Okay.
Probably we'll be gonna go on another half hour or so. We'll be live on Hip Hop News Uncensored. If you're watching now, make sure you jump over to Hip Hop News Uncensored. We'll be exclusively talking about all this, recapping on Mac Miller, and then getting more depth into it. But like Ogad alluded to, I had a speculation. We didn't want to really jump to any conclusions right now because it's definitely fresh, and we're mourning the death of him. Even though we don't really, I can attest, I don't really know too much of his music. I listen to some talented brother, talented dude. Talented dude. And he is really unfortunate, like throughout the world, that he died. He was real authentic. He wasn't a mumble rap dude. He spit bars. He was wordy. So he was respected throughout the hip hop community, and it shows. So I'm gonna get more in depth, but we all know that he had to break up with Ariana Grande, and then she got engaged, and it was real out in the open. Social media just showed everything, and it was very public. And for a young dude in the public eye, we all know where this could lead, and it looks like I'm gonna just beg a question, and we'll talk about it live on the podcast later on.
Right? Yeah. I want to get your response to this, Sandman. That 214 boy says, if you live to promote gun violence and drugs, it just may be the cause of your demise. Unfortunate, but self-accountability has to come into account. What do you think of that statement in the chat room?
I agree, but when you're young, I don't know how old.
26, right?
You know what I mean? Yeah. That boy 21 is, excuse me, but great comment. I don't know how old he is, but we all know that throughout life, you just got to grow. And at 26, I can know wow, where I'm at with 26 and where I'm at now is a totally different place.
True.
And living in a public eye, like I said, and living life through the public and seeing everything and having people comment and do things, that's not easy. You know what I mean? And if you don't have a strong team in your corner, which we're going to talk about also on Hip Hop News Uncensored, the Uncensored Truth Live for Friday night, we'll get into his corner and who was by his side, because there had to be there looked like there was a kind of a paper trail that this was going on. We all knew that he was kind of suffering. He crashed his G4 wagon. I don't know if you remember doing that podcast early on in May. He crashed his whip, and I think he
DUI.
Yeah, he had a 2.2. He was level 2 over the alcohol limit.
Right.
So he was fucked up.
Yeah.
Right off the breakup, and now this silently it took the toll. So I don't know. It had to be a sign or people in his corner that had to see things that could intervene earlier, and we'll get into that.
At this point, it's glamorized. Countless of and I think people kind of even do it. A lot of these rappers do it because they in a lifestyle and they feeling themselves, so they on a song and they talking about what they really doing, but not taking into account that you got children that are coming up listening to this and are going to want to know what this is. What are they doing? They're rich, they're famous, they're powerful, they're doing it. I want to do this. I want to feel good like them. Couple that, with all other things that people got going on, emotional issues and stuff like that. People go too far because you gotta look at something like promethazine. It's, people do get prescribed certain things for certain ailments, and it helps people, whatever, I think that's for sometimes cough and pain, something like that. They need to give people for bronchitis. Yeah. So yeah, there are uses for it, but it even says when you abuse this type of stuff, when you take more than a recommended dosage, you mix it with alcohol and stuff like this, it's a recipe, for disaster.
We all know the double cup. We've seen the double cup throughout time. Wayne, Ross, it's all through the South. You know what I mean? I think Smoke Perp just did a commercial
right,
where he was mocking. Some dude came up to him and asked him, "What are you drinking?" He said, "Oh, lean." And he said, "No, why are you drinking it throughout with a straw?" And it was to advocate like, don't use straws, it's bad for the environment. Meanwhile, he's sitting here drinking lean. So that was okay, but the straw was wrong. I get the dichotomy, but it's also like, damn, you okay to kill yourself, but don't kill the earth? Nah, don't kill both. You are a part of the earth. Oh God, I wanted to ask you a question, and I don't want you to answer it to the podcast. Do you think, because you raised a good question when you were talking, do you think that a lot of these rappers fall under pressure and aren't really even, because we all know that they're not living a lifestyle they perpetuate, but feel a pressure to live that lifestyle or come to that lifestyle because of the fear of being called fake or not being called or not rapping the lyrics? Do you think some of them genuinely come in clean, and because of the fame and because of the pressures of fame and the shit that they rap about that they don't really walk about, do you think that it kind of propels them into this kind of use?
Right. Well, I'll touch a little bit on it. I don't think anybody, it may start that way. You might want to try something, but this is deeper, man. When you're on something like that, I think that's deeper than just wanting to, fit in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's like trying to mask something. You know what I mean? Some psychological issues that probably were never dealt with from a child. We all got issues that we have, and since we're not really into psychology like that, and we don't really know, we just act this shit out all the time. Everybody, nobody's exempt from this. So that could have been his way. Everybody got their vices. Some people drink, some people have sex, everybody has the ways of dealing with it. That was the way that he, was apparently dealing with it. And unfortunately, it caused his demise, man. Yeah. So we're going to get definitely deep into that, though, on Hip Hop News Uncensored, podcast.
I can't wait. A couple more minutes. We're going to get into it. It's going to be dope. We got a number of other hip hop topics going on in the world. We talked about Joe Budden coming at Eminem.
Yeah,
that was in
man.
depth. I mean, we only got a little bit in depth because we only had a little bit of the clip. But now that the full interviews came out with Joe Budden, we had a great argument. And we talked about it earlier in the week, and we talked about it live on the Uncensored Truth podcast. Well, probably a couple of days ago.
Yeah, definitely.
Did he address it enough on the podcast, or does he still have to come back with bars? Now, we both had the conversation on whether or not it was worth it. Did he need to come back with real bars? And Joe answered that question. So we'll talk about it on the podcast.
I mean, I'm going to tell you like this, to give the people, it's just two different channels, right? From what the people wanted him to come on, to fire back on wax. They don't want to hit. That's the first thing that we said at first. We was like, I mean, that's cool. He went hard and everything. He had the sound effect. But we wanted to see Joe fire off some lyrics, man. And then it seems to be the consensus, even just on my channel. I don't know, the consensus on your channel.
I got the same consensus, but that was early. We didn't really get the full interview after. And then once I heard the full audio of the interview, I got the reasoning why he didn't respond yet with bars. We'll talk about it live on the podcast.
Yeah, no doubt,
and then I'm gonna get your perspective. I don't know if we'll play it live because Joe's a little bit of the competition now.
Oh man, that's not good.
And you know what? We like Joe. We like Budden.
Right.
But we young fighters in the game right now.
Right.
For a shot.
Yes, sir.
At the title. So it is what it is. But we're gonna talk about Joe in a couple of minutes for sure too.
Yeah, but you listen to the Uncensored Truth podcast live on Friday night with your brother Old God and Sam. Man, I want to announce this. We got a dope mentorship program rolling out real soon. We're going to cover, aspects of social media, YouTube, finance, business startup, and SEO training. We're going to be rolling that out real soon. We're working hard behind the scenes, to put that together. It will be made, available to anybody who's looking, anybody who's a business person or wants to, just looking for self-improvement, you're going to want to sign up for that. So that's coming real soon. If you're listening, hit that like button or hit the like button and make sure that you share this video. This is the Uncensored Truth podcast live on Friday night. And I guess, if we ain't got nothing else, man, we're going to make the transition and get over to the, Hip Hop News Uncensored.
Yeah, man, let's turn on a little music. Let's get the vibe right. Let's get ready to get over there and get live on Hip Hop News Uncensored, exclusively your home for the Uncensored Truth podcast. And then we got our 4 brands that we drop it on all through the week. Viral Hip Hop News, the Uncensored Truth podcast, which you're watching live. Viral Hip Hop Reloaded. If you haven't subscribed to Viral Hip Hop Reloaded, I know you remember the history that came behind Viral Hip Hop News. If you're watching all the way through our journey, and you remember my throwbacks and all those good beefs and things like that I had, throwbacks that I came up on. Well, those are right now exclusively on Viral Hip Hop Reloaded. So if you missed those, go subscribe to Viral Hip Hop Reloaded right now. The link should be in the description box. If it's not, it'll definitely be there within the hour. Got y'all on that. And I didn't guess, let's get rocking.
Yeah, man, we out of here, man. One more time, everybody listening, if you're watching this later or right now, hit that like button. Make sure you share the video. We do appreciate your participation in advance. Just the Uncensored Truth podcast live. Yes, we're gonna get y'all, right out of here with our man Jay Song right now. We the only ones, man. Let's go.
Go over to Hip Hop News Uncensored right now.
Yeah.
Get over there in that chat room. We should get that link up momentarily.
Yeah.
It's going to be electric, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. Yes. All right, man. We out of here, man. Peace.